Happy Monday. I'm going to keep it short and sweet because I'm traveling tomorrow and I've got a million things to do. This is always when I have my best production when I'm under a deadline. But as promised, I wanted to talk to you guys tonight about how I can be part of helping you transform yourself into becoming the person you have always dreamed of being. And I think that's probably one of the biggest issues for people is you have these really typically grandiose ideas of what your life, what you expect of your life, and yet you don't really have action items. You don't have anybody to kind of hold your hand, motivate you, help you, pat you on the back, all of those things to feel success, to keep you continuing on that reign. I remember having a client once who had migraines practically daily for years. And the minute we started working together, obviously, you know that one of the things we do is start eating real wholesome food. So I knew based on what her diet looked like pre-Mama G that just shifting to real wholesome food was going to be life-changing. And it was. Within those, first 30 days together, I mean, she really suffered with very few migraines, cravings. She lost a huge amount of weight. Sometimes we see that with people that are a little bit larger, and they tend to have a lot of inflammation. And so the scale just can make these humongous drops because the body's like, oh, a little movement, a little real food, get rid of all the crap and preservatives and chemicals and sugar and alcohol and whatever else this person has been putting in their body. And she had great success. I mean, like I said, within the month, she was thrilled that she, was no longer having any migraines. But you know that it wasn't good enough. So, this is where we have to think about how bad you want something. I've had several people reach out of recent, especially I think due to COVID. Changes in exercise, changing in eating, just due to their environment changing, right? With COVID and being more at home and gyms closed and not having interaction with people and maybe working at home, and now the refrigerator is right there. Where people are really out of sorts and really unhappy, and perhaps now they've gone to the doctor again and the doctor said, your cholesterol's high, you're pre-diabetic, like you got to get together, it's time for that lifestyle change. And it's like, go home and lose weight, change your life. Well, these poor people have no idea what to do. So, the thing is what in Mama G lifestyle, especially if you have been practicing what I've been preaching, that you are changing your outcome, right? You're losing weight, you're feeling energetic, you no longer have headaches, maybe your sleep is improved, you feel less inflamed, you have less pain. All kinds of things can happen based on you shifting your food and adding a little exercise into your life. But for most people, they don't know what it looks like. And for most of you, even though I have a lot of clients who, kind of instead of just stepping off the wagon or stepping off the horse and getting back up again, they've fallen off on their head, broken stuff, and now they lay in a heap on the floor, trying to fix themselves with nobody there to help them. So, this is where we have to really identify like how stressed out you are, and are you living in chaos? And, would you like to find some balance in your life? How many times have you said to yourself, I ate really bad today, or I haven't been good. I've been really bad. And, really beating yourself up. You're like, we have to build up your self-esteem. You deserve it more than anybody to feel good about yourself. I also know that a lot of you continue to put obstacles in front of yourself. Like, you know, in the obstacle course racing world, like we don't want obstacles. We go much faster without the obstacles. So when you keep putting obstacles in your way, you know, I need to help you stop the self-sabotaging of yourself, and perhaps hanging out with people who are sabotaging you, and who knows. And all that leads to you feeling really insecure and really incapable, and you need to be empowered. And that's what I'm here for. I'm here for you not only to help you shift your food and, you know, help you kind of, you know, bring real wholesome food into your life, coming up with some basic, easy combinations, recipes if you'd like to cook. As I mentioned, that I'm working with a couple companies that produce some meals that look like they're going to be really lovely, that I'm going to be taste testing for you. Because some of you don't want to cook. No matter how much I want you to cook, you don't want to cook. So up until this point, I have fought it. I fought like tooth and nail. And I still want you to cook a couple meals a week. But if you need to order some meals in, let's get it going. Let's get it going. And let me help you find a company that's going to provide you with some wholesome meals. Maybe we need to add a little veggie here or there, add a little this or there. But if I know what you're doing and I know the company, I can feel better about it. So we'll be talking more about that. But, you know, just trying to, the majority of the time, get some real food going. And right there, life's going to change. But there's so many more aspects to your health and to your lifestyle and to your success, and finding your self-esteem and stopping the self-sabotage and empowering yourself and finding that balance. That's really what the Mama G lifestyle is. You know, it's not called Mama G's diet. It's called a lifestyle approach, because there are multiple facets that help you get there. And as an integrated and functional nutritionist, right? That's what my master's degree is in. We can integrate all of these aspects of health to make you the best version of yourself. And let's be honest, the majority of my clients are in the middle of, or post-menopause. So that's really the clientele I'm talking to, though I have athletes, young adults, Olympic hopefuls, NC2A athletes, young adults who are going to be parents soon or want to be parents, or people with kids, or all ages in there. The majority of my clients, my avatar client, is that woman dealing with the effects of menopause and everything it does to screw with your head and to screw with your body at the same time. So everybody can learn from those tools, and then we customize things for your particular approach in life. But, you know, let's face it, like, no matter who you are, all of these aspects that I've been talking about can get in your way. So we got to be honest. We got to come up with, you know, the challenges that are the most important for you to deal with. Top of the list. I don't know if you know who Dave Ramsey is, but he's a financial guy, and I really appreciate his approach. I have paid for many people to go to his Financial Pace University. Pre-COVID, they were in person, 8-week classes at local churches all over the United States, probably all over the world. But you can certainly do it online. But, you know, he always like, take the little pieces first that like start nibbling at like the little debt, right? So get rid of the $25 and the $100 debts and knock them all off. So instead of having 20 different debts, you know, one of them might be $100,000, right? If you knock off, you know, 15 of them, wow, you only got 5 left. So, you know, it's really important to kind of manage the best way to go about this. And I was telling this to a client the other day, you know, and she's like, I really need to exercise more so I can lose this weight right here. And I'm like, nope, you're fine. A little exercise is fine. Cardiovascular exercise, lung conditioning, overall body conditioning, little impact. We can stress the muscles, the bones, build some muscle, build some, you know, hold on to muscle, hold on the muscle and bone, build muscle and bone, all of those things. But if you think like you go out there and you do a walk for an hour and you're going to add another hour of walking into your week for 200 calories, when 200 calories can literally be consumed in less than 5 minutes time. So I'd rather you take that hour and put together a meal or two or three, or whatever you can get out of it. It's going to behoove you a hell of a lot more than an extra hour of exercise. So this is where people really have to understand you cannot outtrain a bad diet. Exercise is hard. Exercise does not burn a ton of calories. It is incredibly important because if you don't use it, you will lose it. But what you're putting in your mouth, what's going on in your head, how much sleep you're getting, how much care you're giving to yourself, how much interaction you're having with other people, all of those things paint a picture of who you ultimately are. And so we really have to work on building up your self-esteem. We have to really work on building up your confidence. We have to really be able to empower you with areas in your life that you feel really successful with. And the areas that you're not feeling so successful with, that's where I'm there to help motivate you. We have to find balance, man. I like the word normal. People don't like the word normal, but I'm a huge fan. Normal just means to me like homeostasis, when your body's working normally, like everything's flowing and ebb and flow and everything's working appropriately. All the metabolic pathways are working. It's just normal, right? When we're abnormal, things aren't working well, we're out of balance. We don't have homeostasis. So, being normal, balance is really, really important to your body, really important to your mind, really important to your soul. And so we've got to find that balance, and I can help you find that balance. You've got to be more at peace by improving your self-esteem, building your confidence, empowering yourself, finding balance. You will become more peaceful in your life and you'll be more joyful. That's why I really talk about the joy that you can find by putting together meals and eating food that ultimately can bring joy to your life, and not only your life, the people that you love. I don't know that anybody ever feels good about, driving through a McDonald's and, picking up Happy Meals for their kids. You find joy with that? Because the kids may think it's exciting. I don't even know what they do anymore with Happy Meals, but like, the chicken nuggets and the French fries and then the little ridiculous toy they get with it. I bet you don't feel good about that, right? I don't think you could feel good about feeding your kids a meal that literally has, nutrition only because it's enriched in a little protein from the little bit of chicken that's in there. And there's no vegetables inside and no fruit inside. And hopefully they got a carton of milk so we can get some calcium and protein and vitamin D and so many other important nutrients, but they're typically getting a soda pop, right? So we've got to, together kind of uncover your blocks. And this is the opportunity for you during the one-on-one calls to be asking questions via the Facebook group, messaging me privately, questions, thoughts, concerns, problems, struggles, wins that come up in your life, so that, number one, we could share the wins and the positives. Like we have probably 6 people out of 60 plus people that sit in our private Facebook group who actually post anything. A lot of them are reading. A lot of them tell me, I read everything, but I just don't post anything. Hey, you don't have to post anything. But people are motivated by what you post. People would be, the old misery loves company. People would feel a hell of a lot better if they knew that more people were struggling and said it out loud, or even said it personally to me in a direct message. And then I share not who you are, but the struggle, so that they understand they're not alone. Kind of working through a bunch of clients who bought packages pre-COVID, and then COVID hit, and then everything got put on hold. Well, I put things on hold for people. I didn't pressure people just due to all the circumstances. And now I've said, you got to use up your sessions by the end of summer. And so I've had quite a few sessions with people to kind of discuss, how they're doing, where they're at, what are their wins. I always say, what are your wins? What are your struggles? And people are really struggling. And it would be so nice to be able to kind of share those struggles with people that people are having so that you could understand you're not alone. Step one, I don't care what your circumstances, no matter how tragic, no matter how mundane you think it is, somebody else is suffering like you right now, in the past, and they will in the future. And if you can think about people who have been through what you've been through, or who might be in the midst of the struggle and like, so and so is doing it, I can do it. I will tell you that it will allow you to hold on a little bit longer. I'll tell you that, it's been 13 years since we lost our son, Evan. People always say to me, I don't know how you do it. Well, number one, you don't have a choice. If a kid who dies, you got no choice. We did everything we could. There's nothing we could do. It is what it is. And what are you going to do? Like, you think you're just going to disintegrate and that's the end? You're over, your life's over? It doesn't work that way. Like, you got to find a way to tolerate this, what I always say, life that I had no intention of being part of. And so I drew strength from all the other people that I met along the journey who had lost children too. And whether it was a short amount of time or a really long amount of time or the same exact amount of time as me, to know that Sandy's doing it right now, and Lisa's doing it right now, and Karen is doing it right now. Like, empires continue to be built regardless of all the tragedy that occurs in life. And therefore, we as human beings, luckily are very resilient. We have very resilient spirits. But unfortunately, there are so many complications in life that can bring us down that we need to figure out how we're going to survive it. So you just have to, you want to see the little bit of joy in my life? Look at that. My husband, he's a keeper. We're going to be together 40 years. Holy crap, 40 years. I don't even feel like I'm 40 in February. 40 years since we started dating. Shocking. But like, you have to understand you are not the only one. No matter what it is, no matter how bad it is, no matter what's going on in your life, you are not the only one in the struggle. The question is, are you going to let this thing or this group of things do you in? And look around. Look around at all the mental health crises that people are in. Look in the obesity pandemic we're in. Look at the COVID pandemic we're in. Like, we actually know how to prevent or attempt to present. No, what do I want to say? I actually lessen the effects of both pandemics. The obesity pandemic, which leads to lifestyle disease like heart disease, stroke, diabetes, cancers, colorectal cancers, and the like, and getting COVID. Like, we actually know how to, with COVID, physical distancing, hand washing, mask wearing will actually reduce the incidence of you potentially contracting COVID. And pair that with people who don't have comorbidities, in other words, health issues, add in all the lifestyle diseases that I just talked about that are typically brought about from obesity and a sedentary lifestyle. Like, we actually know the antidote. And it doesn't mean you got to starve yourself. You got to have a punitive diet. You got to have restriction, no carbohydrates, no sugar, no alcohol. No, we can actually find this really nice balance to find homeostasis, and the body is just amazing. I have a client who think we started when she was over 250 pounds. And we've been working actually since the start of COVID. And she's going to say goodbye to the 190s in a blink, in another week or two. Bye-bye, 190s, never to see you again. Why? Because for the first time in her adult life, and I believe she's in her 60s, she's enjoying every morsel she's putting in her mouth. She's cooking beautiful Mama G meals. She doesn't feel deprived. It's not punitive because she's now taken off almost 60 pounds or maybe more. She's more active than she's been in a million years. Now, she might have been at this weight before Mama G, and maybe even more than once in all these years. But it was due to highly restrictive behaviors that taught you nothing about living a joyful and peaceful life. And so to see her like hit these milestones is just really wonderful. And so I'm telling you, regardless of where you sit, regardless of what your list of, goals are in your life, and what the list of obstacles look like in your life, like together, Mama G can help you maneuver through. So, we've got to uncover your blocks. We've got to stop the self-sabotage. We've got to find fulfillment in your food and incorporating some movement in your life. And, it's really, like thinking about observing you throughout the course of your day, and what I would see that was different as a result of our work together. In other words, maybe you're somebody who, just can't get it together in terms of finding time and to get exercise in, or to cook any meals, or you're working at home full time. You've got adult children living in the home now. You might have a husband as well. And, what we want to do is be able to look at a schedule that would fit into your life. One. Number two, feels really good. Like could be something like, making a decision to get up a little bit earlier, 6:30 in the morning, to do a little meditation for 5 or 10 minutes, just to kind of settle yourself. I get up early and I actually do a rosary novena with a group of people on Facebook. And what a great way to start my day. And it takes anywhere from 15, 25 minutes. But man, it is so worth it. And one of the things I do for myself now, you would never have caught me doing this. When I had kids at home and little kids and I was going a million miles an hour, man, I didn't get out of bed until I had to, until they're screaming or yelling or jumping on the bed, or it's time to go, or the alarm's going off. Now I actually set an alarm. There are benefits to, having kids, adult kids, to get up early, so I can make my beautiful breakfast and my cup of tea and come back to my bed with my doggie and lay in bed. And, whether I'm listening to music or listening to the news or scrolling through social media or whatever I feel like I get to enjoy my breakfast. And then I get to do this rosary novena that I do every single day. And in all honesty, I've been doing it since the middle of March when COVID started, and I have no intention of stopping. So that's my little bit of finding my peace and solitude. It happens to be with my faith. Yours can be just with finding, your grounding with your meditation or yoga or anything like that. I don't know what it is, but tell you what, you got to have something, right, to support that spirit of yours. Taking that time out for that healthy breakfast is incredibly important. And making sure that you have time to have that wholesome lunch. Those right there are so important. If you knew you were getting your kids, or you knew your adult kids were, eating, real wholesome food and nourishing themselves well, or you were nourishing your kids really well, man, doesn't that make you feel good just thinking about the concept rather than thinking about, an adult kid of yours who just eats crap and who drinks too much and who doesn't get enough sleep? Man, it's so stressful to think about that. I'd love to know that you have this manageable and a well prioritized schedule that okay, I'm gonna go for my walker, runner, or bike ride or whatever, take a class with a friend at 8:30 to 9:30. And I'm going to stop at the store with my grocery list and get what I need to, make dinner this evening. That you are able to delegate tasks. So maybe you have a cleaning person that comes to your house every once in a while, or maybe, you can ask your husband for a little help for emptying the dishwasher, or you've got adult kids home where you can say, hey, like I need you to do your own laundry or to help with the laundry or, whatever. You got to be able to delegate tasks so that everything is not about you. And I want to know like that you're having regular get-togethers with your girlfriends. I think, like it's so important. Guys need their guy time, but women need women so much more than men need men. The old book, Women Are from Mars, Men Are from Venus, or whatever. Like you got to have them. And so even in times of COVID, like it's easy. Take a walk on your beach trail or on the hills or on a green belt somewhere. Socially distance if need be, wearing masks if need be. Like you got to have those times. I think I went about 8 weeks. I didn't have my granddaughter. I didn't have my people, my friends. We weren't having Sunday dinners. And man, 2 months in, I was struggling big time. And so, you learn in life. And I've learned at 57, I've learned a lot. And I've learned a lot from all my clients and all of their struggles and how to help them maneuver things. Like, if you don't think I got an answer for everything, I'm going to tell you this. I have an answer for everything. But you got to actually be willing to take the action item, right? And together we kind of come up with the action item so that you can feel like it's manageable. And I think I've been doing a much better job of doing it your way and not necessarily my way, but kind of merging some of the more wholesome, healthy attributes of the Mama G lifestyle into your way. So you can start to dip into a more healthy approach to your life. I think it's important that if you're working at home or you're working in the office or maybe you're babysitting somebody's kids or whatever it looks like, whatever your responsibilities are, that, like there's an end date, an end time to it. Like, so if, like 6 o'clock, that's what you're supposed to work to. That's it. Don't take on more work, regardless of it's volunteering or anything like that. You've got to put an end to it. I was volunteering for the first 4 months of COVID, every single day delivering meals. And it was the middle of the day and it really, look, I have a sticker. Something was poking me. It was smack in the middle of my day and man, did it really prevent me from just being in the flow of getting my work done and working with clients and all of that stuff. It really threw me off kilter, and COVID was already enough to throw me off kilter. So I had to cut it down and do it 2 days a week now. I'm not the only one that can volunteer. Not. So I actually sent an email to a large group of my friends who said, any of you who have any opportunity, maybe once a week, once a month, something, even on a volunteer, even on a, what's it called? Like, somebody's on the sick list or something like that. If there's any way that you could help in any capacity deliver meals in our community, it's so much needed that, could somebody do it? And I know that one person out of the dozen and a half people that I asked to consider it, one person stepped up. So kudos to that person. But get help. Stop working when you have to stop work. Don't overcommit yourself. I want to mention, like finding time throughout your day to allow some decompression. whether it's at the end of your day, whether it's before you get into bed. My husband actually gets in the tub in the morning when he first gets up and just has a little bit of time to go through social media and watch the news and just take a chill pill, because his day is slammed. He's going to go work out, and he's going to, have a huge work day, super busy with his business. And I love, after I've trained in the morning and my schedule allows it, that I can come home from a training and sit in the bed in the tub for a few minutes. It's only for a few minutes, and I may be eating lunch at that time, or whatever, finishing my tea, but just a few minutes, 15 minutes. Allow yourself to kind of decompress at some point during the day, whether it's start or finish or in between. It'll really kind of allow you to rejuvenate yourself at some point. I think it's really important to spend consistent time with the people that you love. And I know COVID makes it a little more complicated, but I think that you've got to have your droplet gang. And I think that you have to start opening the parameters of your droplet gang, as long as you know those people are practicing safe physical distancing and mask wearing and different things like that when they're going out. And you've got to just widen your circle a little bit, because it doesn't look like this is going away anytime soon. So it would be really important to make sure you're interacting with these people. Grandchildren especially, and your own children especially if you have adult children, and like parents and seniors that are out there, or maybe you're a senior. Like, you've got to communicate to people, like, you need people in your life, and Zoom and FaceTime do not cut it. You have to think about the risk. The mental health risks are wide and strong, and I really believe that it's worth taking a little bit of risk. And there are really safe ways to physically distance and mask wear, or just physically distancing within a home or a backyard, different places, so that you can have interaction with people in person. I think it's hugely important. I think it's really important that you're getting consistent exercise. And if you're new to exercise or haven't exercised in a long time, and taking a walk several days a week for half hour or so is a game changer. Doing it with somebody you love, a friend, a spouse, anybody else, your dog, a game changer. With COVID, with the gym closed, I used to do a longer run one day a week with my droplet gang. I was walk running one day a week, usually by myself, but sometimes with somebody else. And what else? I would do stairs. Oh, that's it. And then I'd go to the gym, and I would go on the Stairmaster, on the spin bike, or the elliptical, or different things like that. When COVID hit and the gym closed, I went outside. And now, do you know that I found a new love of biking? And not road biking. I do not like to be on the road unless I am in a very safe, contained bike lane. I stay off like roadways as much as possible. But there are lots of different bike trails, paths, areas by me that I feel super safe on. Not a lot of traffic. And man, do I love biking now. And as a matter of fact, I'm on the injured reserve, have a little bursitis in my knee. We're not really sure what the catalyst was, probably from my low back, which has been my nemesis for years and years and years and years. And I'm talking almost 30 years now. So no impact. So, staying away from any running and jumping or any of those kind of things. So I've been on the bike. And I will tell you that I love biking, and that I do not see myself ever again, unless the weather is terrible, which thankfully it's not that way in California, hopping on a Stairmaster or a treadmill or a spin bike or an elliptical ever again. And to just be outside. Sunscreen on the face, sunscreen on the arms and chest. Still getting a little vitamin D and fresh air. Found a lot of joy in it. So, you got to find out what's going to work out for you. If you can afford it and you need the motivation, I think working with a personal trainer is really worth your while. I was a fitness professional for 30 plus years, so I and I have had a consistent personal trainer for the last 6 years, Samantha B, and I definitely have had trainers over the years as well. I believe in it. I understand that there are budget constraints, but working out with friends, there's so many aspects for you in terms of the strength component and body weight exercises, and so much available online to you, especially now with the gyms closed. It's probably time that you're going to have to invest in a little bit of an equipment that you should just have at home, but means you have to use it, not use things as clothes hangers after you have them all. But regular workouts, maybe doing a not semi-private, so it doesn't cost you as much, whatever you need to do to find the motivation to work out and to not only do your cardiovascular exercise, but to strength train as well. And, making sure that number one, you have days off from exercise, and then making sure that you have days off from work. And that means like if you work from, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., that you're not working in the evening, like you put it away. And if you work Monday through Friday, that you're not working on Saturday and Sunday. And for me, like when you have your own business, my husband too, it's like so easy to just pick up work at any point in time. But it's really important to just find some off time. We have a pretty strict rule that we cook dinner and then we watch a show together. And it's usually one show. Sometimes the boys want to do a little binge watching, especially if we watch something really good. And unless it's like a weekend, which I maybe will watch two if we're in a series. I don't like binge watching. I don't like binging of anything. But, we have a pretty strict rule that we sit down and eat dinner together, and then we watch a show together. And that's what we do. We try to put the devices away. We're always giving people a hard time. You're not even watching the show. Put your device away. So it was better when there was commercials, because then you could be on your device then. But now you can go right through to commercials, and God forbid, you don't look at Instagram for an hour, because, the world's gonna collapse. Oh, one of the best things I have done is unfriending every single person I have ever been friends with on Facebook. And I just use Facebook for my business. I use Instagram for my business. I follow a couple people, my kids and friends who I want to see pictures of their kids and what they're doing, but it's really awesome to not be a slave to social media anymore. I highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. Go back to calling your friends and FaceTiming your friends and texting them to set up lunch dates and different things like that, because I think human interaction is important. I try to make a really I've tried to make the rule of, like when you send a text to somebody and you ever just get a text from a random person, could be something you haven't talked to in a million years or somebody you talk to all the time. And it's just like, did you see that on TV? Instead of saying, good morning, hope you're doing well, I wanted to see if you blah, 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 blah. It's like, hello. Do you ever answer a phone and go, I want to tell you about this or that. And then you say, hello, hi, how's it going? And then you could tell them the story. I think that, man, where did manners go? My kids went to manners class, right? And then they went to cotillion. Oh, just lovely members of them. And they have lovely members of that too. My Evan loved to go to cotillion. Man, he loved girls and he loved the opportunity to dance with those girls. Oh my God, that's a great memory. So anyway, I think it's really imperative that you really think about where you are in the Mama G lifestyle, how much of it is now your lifestyle, and how Mama G can help you. Coming up with some really big changes now, starting on the 8th of August. I will be doing, and I'm hoping it's every week, on Zoom, at 3 p.m. Pacific time, Cooking with Mama G. And so we'll let you know the recipe ahead of time. I'll give you a shopping list. So it'll make it really easy for you to see if you have all the ingredients. And then we cook together. And then you get to have that meal to either freeze or refrigerate or sit down and eat with your family right then and there. So I think that's going to be great. We'll work chopping techniques, basic kitchen skills. We'll talk nutrition. I need your help to promote this. This is how I'm going to build my database, build my followers, so that I can start to build my business. So I need your help with that. And in return, you get to have free cooking classes as well. And then come September 1, we are jumping back into a group game plan. It's starting September 1st. It's going to be for a certain amount of weeks. There is a certain cost behind it. And with that, you get A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. And you might need that. You might need the motivation, the encouragement, the opportunity to build your self-esteem and confidence, for me to empower you, find the balance and peace and all these things we've talked about in this group scenario, starting September 1st. And then also starting in September is an opportunity for clients who need more hand-holding. And it's going to be a premium signature package, and there's going to be lots involved, but it's a one-on-one experience with Mama G. But, you know, you got to really be motivated and, you know, really be ready to make change in your life. This is where we talk about, are you sick and tired of being sick and tired? Because if you are, you're going to want the you know, signature package with Mama G. If you're sick and tired and sick, you know, really sick and tired and don't want that much Mama G, you will have the group opportunity. But pretty much everything else goes away. So something to think about, and I'd appreciate any support that you give me by sharing your experiences with Mama G and how positive they've been, hopefully. And in turn, we will have so much more content for all of you who have been loyal clients all these years. So anyway, I'm going to end here. I've got to start packing for Colorado, going off to visit my sister, going on an airplane. And I'm going to go visit my sister and her family. And then we're going to a Catholic family camp in the Colorado, Rocky Mountain High in Colorado. So really looking forward to this. We have been planning this since pre-COVID. So glad that it's still happening. And we will be properly physically distanced and mask wearing where necessary at the camp, but really looking for a beautiful religious experience with my family. So lots for you to think about. You know what Mama G always says, it is not about what you lose, folks. It is all about what you gain. Have a beautiful evening.